Securities offered through Centaurus Financial, member FINRA and SIPC. And now, the host of the Team Martek Hour, Joe Martek.
Yeah, I think that's me. You know, that's what I go by, Joe. You know, when you're born Harold Francis Jr., and Ma said, what are we going to call that kid? You know, well, I just got lucky and got Joe. So it's just one of those things that you don't get to pick. It could have been Butch Jr., Hal.
So you're not Junior?
I am a junior, but I could have been called Junior. But instead of that, I got Joe. Happiness is. And the love of my life sent me a text just a few minutes ago from work saying she loves me. She means she's not working, because otherwise she'd be working and not sending me a text. Thank you, Dee. I just thought I'd throw that in because she's probably listening and her boss is probably listening. So, whether she gets a demerit or a merit, we don't know yet.
So you have a new love?
Hey, 5 months. Serious stuff.
Are you keeping score here?
Yes,
Alan?
it's his 26th in the last year and a half.
Can we delete that part of the program right there?
Oh man, you are dead.
Totally kidding compliance.
Alan, there are paybacks in life, and I owe you. I now owe you two.
Oh my.
340-1590, 340-1590. Back in 2004, Joe Martek, financial advisor, Greg Fasula, attorney, and Dan Warren, independent insurance. Oh, here comes a text from Dee saying, "Uh-huh."
Oh no, she was listening.
She was. She was listening. It's a. Let me just see what it's.
Oh,
I'm showing.
Fake news, D. Fake news.
Fake news. Anyway, what can I tell you? I'm in trouble. But when haven't I been? Oh, ouch is her official. See, Alan, it's all your fault. Anyway. Back in 2004, Dan Warren, independent insurance agent, Greg Fasula, attorney, and Joe Martek, financial advisor, started doing radio shows with the very simple concept that each one had a different area of expertise that we could help people with. Boy, I got to tell you something, Alan. My area has been plagued for the last few weeks, especially this last week.
why?
Because the market has just been a little bit volatile. Have you noticed?
What? There's nothing in the market.
Well, no, the market went up.
Toilet paper's gone.
Hey, by the way, I went into Walmart this morning and it's still empty of toilet paper.
Yeah. Publix was empty this morning.
Yeah. Hey, but they're selling lots of corn on the cob. I'm telling you right now, it's just selling like crazy. So that's the good news.
Produce department is full.
Produce department is full. I bought some peaches and some plums, but no corn on the cob. So what can I tell you? 340-1590, 340-1590. And then after we started doing the shows, back when the Great Recession hit, the subjects of real estate and mortgages became a monster subject. So Ms. Victoria Lloyd Remax of Stewart joined us, hardest working realtor alive, probably the hardest working person, only been in real estate since 1980. And she's only 30 years old. This is kind of a miracle, but, that's just the way it is, which led us to Mike Paulus, mortgage broker, who came in and absolutely dispelled all the myth that there was no mortgage money available, because that was never true. What happened is the old rules came back, which was you had to prove you could make the payment. What a concept, huh? You go to a bank, say, give me money. Well, do you have a job? No.
Why
okay.
worry about that? The government doesn't.
No, isn't that the truth? Well, the government, you don't have to pay back, but they can lean on you a bit. But you're going to get a forgivable loan, you know that.
Now,
As long as you don't fire Cliff.
question coming to mind
Yes?
is, will we be getting the, whatever it is, 1,000 or 2,000,
Per person.
or will they be giving us an IOU?
No. Oh, you know what it is? When you own a business, this they haven't said how that's going to work, right? We're going to give you money, but you've got to spend it for your employees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Then if you actually don't fire anybody and do pay exactly what you were paying, they're going to forgive it, supposedly. Now, does that mean you and I can get paid? They didn't say that the owner.
So it's going to be a tax credit and not actual check.
No, they're supposed to give a check. That's what I heard this morning.
Well, yeah,
I know,
supposedly.
but what you hear and what the reality
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
What have you, Alan? Have you paid any attention to what's going on?
Well, I paid some, and what I heard is we're at least getting one check for $1,200 a person.
But I thought you had to have a job.
That is
Ooh.
unclear.
See, I heard that
They'll riot in the villages.
no kidding. Hey, and half of Port St. Lucie. 340-1590, 340-1590. And the newest member, not actually, I don't know if you're the newest member of the group, because you've been here 5 or 6 years now, haven't you?
Yes,
So
about four and a half.
Were you
actually.
before Victoria or after?
Oh, I was after Victoria.
Okay, well, I'm not paying much attention because 09 to 20, that just kind of slipped through the gum, right? That's only 11 years. Anyway, Alan.
But one thing I did hear, Joe, is that supposedly they're talking about a $200 increase in Social Security per month.
Now, listen, now I'm starting to pay attention. In fact, all three of us are paying attention.
Bingo!
Bingo! That's kind of a neat thing. You know what I love it's only a $2 trillion, which is, chump change, dollar package.
I was watching Bloomberg. It's not a $2 trillion. It's a $6 trillion.
Oh, you're kidding. How did that come up?
It is that $2 trillion is coming from Congress. $4 trillion is coming from the Fed.
Now, where does the Congress get their money?
Us.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Taxpayer. So what do we have to do? Like you were saying earlier, is it going to be a rebate, a tax credit? We don't have a clue how it's going to happen.
They haven't even passed the stupid thing yet.
I know.
It's
well, but hey, it looks pretty imminent, right?
I want you to know, for people who are just hanging on the governor's every word, you are preempting the governor on this radio station.
I just wonder if he's repeating anything that's new. I guess he's not talking about Panama City, right? And the shutdown.
No, don't even go there.
340-1590.
Somehow I don't think that story was ever made public.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a caller. Jeff, it's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
Joe, you sort of answered my questions that I was going to ask you because, number one, I was going to ask if you're retired, are you going to get a check? If your second question would be, if you're retired and have a job, are you going to get a second check? I'm in the workforce.
Well, I don't. You're not retired if you're working. You might be retarded, but we know.
Well, I have not been as fortunate in my life as you have been, but I'm going to say one thing. I really like you guys. That's cool.
Jeff, I appreciate it. We have fun with the show, but we try to give information. We try to dig it up and find out what's going on, and we do
every fifth show. There's some information.
Not bad. See, now that's the station owner's husband talking. So we don't pay much attention to him. Now, if the station owner was here, we pay attention to her. But he's he's the boy toy, so we just he's grimacing a bit right now. Can you imagine?
I have never been so upset and disgusted with our political system here, with people that will not work with you no matter what you do, and then when they do work with you, they're going to take total advantage of you and take everything you got, and then and make you think it's a good thing. What in the hell is going on in this country?
I guess you.
Great question.
That is. There is no answer to that. There is no answer to that. This is.
Who elects these people?
Isn't that a fact?
I mean, who can sit there and consciously look at this and say, this lady is nuts?
No. Who can they say that she is not nuts? That's the one.
Well, the reason the stock market is volatile at the moment is even if the Senate passes this, it's not done. It has to go over
to the
House,
yeah.
And then Pelosi's gang of crazies over there are going to want to put things in that bill, and if
they've already done. She already did that.
She tried.
It was a 1,000-page bill.
Right.
Bloomberg laid this out yesterday,
okay.
last night, perfectly, and not Mike Bloomberg, but the network. And it was and what they were saying is that the Republicans and Democrats had agreed on Sunday to a 1,000-page bill.
Right.
And then when Nancy flew in, she had her own bill that was 1,800 pages long.
That's
And-
what I'm talking about.
Well,
It had more crap on it. You can take a stick
it did.
at.
It
Yeah,
had,
yeah,
it had
yeah.
the solar. Now,
Solar.
what Bloomberg found out that this 1,000-acre solar farm, this is a beautiful story, is on one of Nancy's groves in Napa. Bingo! Oh,
That's only right.
it's like, oh, come on.
I got a son. Can I get him a job?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
Yeah,
just-
there you go.
Can he install solar panels? I mean, that's it.
Never has before, but he'll look at them.
Hey, listen, for the right price, we all become solar panel installers.
It
One-
does not make any sense. When I have my friends that are Democrats come up to me and they talk to me, and they're just vicious Democrats.
it's a
They
very,
look
it's a,
at me, and the first thing is they just, it's like you can always tell where they're going to go because they'll say the first thing, like he's a liar.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who's a liar? Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Hey.
How can oh, well, why is he a liar? What has he said that you think is a lie? And the one question that I always ask them, and they can never answer very quickly, what in the last 20 years has the Democrats done for you? And none of them can answer me real quick. I mean, the only help I got was from a Republican, we got $1,000 one time, and everybody got $1,000 or whatever it was. And I said, what have they ever done for you but make promises that never seem to come true? Or logic, I don't even understand it anymore.
Well, Jeff, there's no way. I mean, the bottom line is there's no way. I mean, it's if you can actually have an intelligent conversation with a Democrat, a liberal. Let me lump them together, the liberals and Democrats.
Well, there's some of them that are cool. They're normal, but you get them on that. But there's some that are just so far over the edge.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God! And all this money for the Green Deal on the package. What's it going to do if all of us were all dead? It's like, can you imagine if this was a war and we were being attacked?
Yeah.
I mean, that they would, and they're trying to tie. Oh my God! And you want to know something? This is what scares me the most. And I don't know if you all ever thought about this, but this could be the new modern day warfare.
Well, kind of.
You never know.
If you could
yeah.
Did
direct
you see
direct
where-
that energy and put it in somebody's country, and when the country's desolate, and roll in there and take it over.
Yeah.
Well,
What I'm
did
saying?
you guys see the story this morning about Ilhan Omar, where she's introducing a bill in the House, I think it's later today, that would take all the private hospitals, kind of like what
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
here
yeah.
on the Treasure
Sure,
Coast
sure.
from HCA
Yeah.
or from Cleveland Clinic, and turn them into government hospitals.
That's only right,
Oh Jesus!
Gus-
Yeah, that's it.
You know.
But, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, and she's going to introduce that bill,
Lord save me.
and it's
Where do
like,
these people come from?
Well-
How did they get in there?
Well-
These are fanatical crap people. I mean,
well,
it's
they
people
got
are hired.
voted in. That's a scary
Well,
thing.
it's even
But
scary.
who voted them in?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Did they not know this crap about these people? Who's letting them stay there?
Well, see, you
Get 'em
got
out.
you got to understand when the liberal thinks the government should run everything because that's the government always knows better, right? I mean,
Yeah.
try to make sense out of that statement. And what are you going to do? Argue with that? Because
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you mean we want to become a socialist country? We want to have everything controlled, but that works really good in Russia. It works great other places. Go to Venezuela, ask them how that's working. Cuba's working well for, but you can't use that as logic. Listen, Jeff.
One thing I've also often noticed also that when the Democrats accuse the president of something, it's because they're hiding something that they've done that is 10 times worse than that.
Well, I will tell you, I can't wait for the first debate with Uncle Joe and our boy the Don.
No, that will never come about.
You don't think
That will
so?
never come. They will not allow that. They will stop that in a minute.
Well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
And there's going to be some reason that they don't need to have that debate. And if he stands toe to toe with Donald Trump, that would be the greatest night of I could ever dream of.
It will be well recorded. If
He'll
it
be
ever
social distanced.
But I don't think it's going. I don't think it's going to come about. Mark my words.
Hey,
man.
Jeff, I'm Mark, and I'm listening. We got another caller here. Let me take
Take
one.
care,
And
man.
thanks
Have a
for
great
calling
day.
in, man. We appreciate it. 340-1590, 340-1590. And we have another caller. Lou, it's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
Speaking of debates, I want you guys to have the show of the year by taking your lawyer dude on Friday and debating politics with him.
Yeah.
Listen.
He'd be on the other side. There's no doubt about it.
I love Greg Fasula. I'd like to
This is our
Oh,
lawyer.
your lawyer. Oh, yeah. Well, guess what? You're
Stuart.
right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stuart Address is.
Oh, yeah. He is.
He's with Greg. You
Yeah.
know.
You know, why is it some attorneys are, why is this? I mean, have you figured that out, Greg? Why we have liberals that are attorneys? I mean, is this like a school teacher thing? What's wrong with this picture? I can't figure it out.
Oh, he's a nice guy. He's a real nice guy, but I want to reach through the phone and choke him.
Well, you know, and here's the good thing about America. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and we can debate it, we can argue it, but free speech is a monster Constitution given right. So even though we don't agree and we can't figure out where they are and why they are, but they're allowed to be, right, Alan?
Right. By the way, I just want to mention one thing about Omar. She is from Minneapolis, and in that district, that is a predominantly Muslim district. There are
What a coincidence.
Is a plurality of people that practice Islam in that district, and so that's why she got elected.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Hey, listen. Was it Ocasio? We got some good, strong people over there, right?
No, she could be the vice president.
She could be the vice president. Well, under Bernie, it went out to get so much for that, right?
No, maybe under Joe. I mean, Joe said it's definitely going to be a woman.
No, that's pretty good. Now, she's not. Is she old enough to be vice president?
Oh, that's a good question. She's not old enough to run for president.
She's got to be 35.
What about vice president?
I don't know what the rule is.
I believe vice president is 35 also.
Well, yeah, that would make sense because you know,
if the guy dies, you got to have somebody that can fill the bill.
If he slips on a banana peel.
Hey, Lou, listen. I want to thank you for listening and thank you for calling in.
Okay, he's gone.
He's gone. He left us. 340-1590, 340-1590. Speaking of the market, it's been a little bit volatile.
Yes, it has.
Yesterday up 10%. But it's not over, folks. I mean, this is an interesting time. Very interesting time. And
now, the question that comes to mind, and you brought it out, Mr. Attorney, was not only the House will look at this bill again,
right,
but will the president sign it?
Well,
with all the pork in it.
I'm going to tell you what, I think anything that comes out of the two houses he will sign. I don't care what it is, because we need to make this thing start happening. Now, they can come up with subsequent bills that reverse things, can they not?
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, it can, but it may be necessary for the Republicans to win back the House in order to do that.
No,
well, or will he just sign it and then turn everything into a campaign ad and say, this is,
there are some strategies there that I'm not against.
Yeah.
I mean, but the election is 6 months away. I mean, we're around the corner. So, I mean, this is not a bad thing.
Yeah, but maybe we won't have an election.
We're going to turn into a dictatorship, you think?
Hey, you never know. Social distancing.
340-1590, 340-1590. Hey, Mike, it's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, good morning.
Speak up, Michael. We got to get you off that Sports Illustrated phone that you've got.
You got that old print.
The valley in the shadow of death, I fear no evil. As the Rolling Stones said, lose your dreams and you may lose your mind.
That's a fair thing.
If you have a fine, dry clean only shirt and you get a little food stain on it and you have no way of getting to such a cleaner, would you put it in your washer and dryer knowing the fabric's going to be destroyed and it will become useless? Wouldn't it be better just to live with that little stain?
Now, give me the analogy here. I'm missing it. Who's our little stain?
My point
Little Stain is Bill Clinton, right?
My point is, Mr. Trump had a tremendous economy going. It's time for some to take one for the Gipper and let this country come back to being what it is and what made it great. There's a bunch of people who I believe are happy to see Western civilization fall, happy to see America go down, and don't really want this to end. But it doesn't have to be this way. We've got to get back to who we are. Some will take the fall, but it's a small number compared to flu deaths, traffic deaths. It's just time. It's terrible what's happening. That's my opinion. I'd like to listen off air if I could.
Hey, Mike, appreciate it. You know that, my man. Thanks for calling in. 340-1590, 340-1590. Well, here comes back to election, right?
Hard to disagree with anything Mike said.
Hard to. Bottom line is, this could be the biggest runaway ever when we have our election if people like Mike, people like Alan and myself, because America needs to get behind something solid without all this infighting that is causing more trouble. Now, is it going to happen? $64,000 question. We don't know. Now, on the other hand, according to the polls, which all hate Trump to start with, he's got the highest approval rating he's ever had. He's at 55%, which is a monster rating.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think people actually realize this man can make things happen, whereas the other system may not. So,
whoever thought that? And there was a classic line again. This came from Bloomberg Television, that you could get, of those scientific, the Big 14,
right.
playing. They're all playing with IBM's Watson now,
right?
And they had this one chemical breakdown that was I guess solved, if you will, in 17 minutes by that supercomputer.
Wow.
And so, but it's the first time that whatever this French lab and the
Right,
Israeli lab,
right.
they're all working together. And, you just think, okay, this is fascinating. And as the guy from Bloomberg was laughing, he just said, isn't it amazing that you could get Apple and Microsoft in the same room without killing each other?
Yeah,
and that they're all collaborating worldwide on this issue. And I think that's the big story. That's the big picture.
Yeah, to get action. And now, how much of this is 1,000% true, we don't know, but it does seem like this has been the first time in our modern history that so many people have come together with a common issue for the common good.
Of the world.
Of the world. Well,
yeah.
Think what could happen. This is not the bubonic plague, but we're treating it like that, and we're shutting down the world, literally shutting it down.
How about India today? Carol was reading the headline on India. That's 1/5. Is it, Carol, 1/5 or 1/3? 1/5. 1/5 of the entire world's population
is in India. Yeah.
That is staggering.
Well, and the other fifth is in China.
Well, yeah.
340-1590, 340-1590. And I think we got Jeff back, or we have another Jeff. It's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
Whoops.
We lost him, or we got you on
Jeff's
the wrong.
gone.
Jeff's gone? Okay. So much for that. That might be. Anyway, it's a sad thing, but also this, what you're just saying, Greg, might actually be a positive thing in bringing people together for a common cause to make things happen. Just a few weeks ago, I poo-pah'd this whole thing saying, oh, this is just another flu, another virus. Well, guess what? It may be, but no matter what, it's become the overriding issue on the planet, period. Now, we're not hearing anything about South America because we never do, but I'm sure it's just as big down there as it is up here. And so it's a major, major thing.
Well, I think the key difference between flu and the coronavirus is the fact that it is spreading so fast and you don't know how to stop it, where you're going to get it. there are carriers. We in this studio with Greg, you and I, we
could be.
One of us could be a carrier and not even know it.
And you were on a cruise ship.
You kind of look like a carrier.
No, people carry me.
340-1590, 340-1590. Pat, it's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
All right, I'll keep this quick because I know you're very busy.
Hey, listen, Pat, we've been waiting for you. And we're so unbusy. Go ahead.
Well, how about these guys? They turn a virus into a stick-up. That's how much they care about the elderly. All these people who think they care about the elderly. I can't say the word. I'm so angry.
Old people.
Old people, and then what do? They turn it into a stick-up. They talk about carbon footprint and the whole agenda, and then the dishonest middleman, the media, they make sure they hide it again. Hide what they're saying as much as they can. It's all hysteria. Their own agenda, and it's just a pure hatred towards the country and the president.
That's what we were talking about earlier. That these bills that are being presented have so much fluff in them and stuff that has nothing to do with the situation that we need to address. And that question was earlier, do you think Trump will sign them? I said, I think he'll sign anything he can get right now to make it start making, because we can't allow our country to go into a depression, because literally when you put everybody out of work, there's hey, you're creating a depression. There's no doubt about it. So we got to stop this situation as humanly possible. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the economy's gone, everybody, 330 million people suffer,
That's right.
It'll be suicide and everything else. It has to be dealt with correctly.
Well, it's going to be as I said, November is the election, my man. So, I think we may have one of the greatest surges ever, because I think I
hope so.
Yep.
You got to get that media out of there. Got to get that dishonest media out of there. They really are dishonest. I'll tell you. With their blobs and their really right now, I think it's the country is at 1.2% and falling as far as and all the people that are surviving it.
Yeah. Well,
you got to keep it. You got to keep it on the positive. I know it could go real negative, but they're putting out a lot of real crap. Crap.
Yeah, I agree. All right, my man. Thanks for calling. We got another phone caller here. Hey, George, it's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
Hey, Joe. This is George calling you. I have a question and statement.
Go ahead.
My question is, why doesn't anybody ever illustrate that President Obama, federalized the student loan program and put all these kids in debt? He was getting money at virtually 0% after the 2008 crash. Federalized the student loan program and charged these kids 7%. Took all competition out of the arena. Why doesn't anybody ever mention that?
Well, listen, even our attorney...
I think it was mentioned on Bloomberg television, but the problem is they have no viewers.
Yeah. Even our liberal attorney member of our group agrees that this is wrong to have free education for higher things. So a student loan with no payback. We all know this. We were all raised basically in a work ethic that anything that was free had no value. So today, I guess you go to school and you get an education, you get a job, and if you show up, you get paid, and if you don't show up, you might get paid anyway. I mean, it's just it's not the American way historically.
I think if somebody were to point that out, reiterate that to the American people, particularly the kids that are suffering from the yoke of this debt, it would make strides in helping to illustrate what type of president Mr. Obama was.
Well,
the second thing
Go ahead.
that I'd like to bring to the forefront is, aren't the people like Comey, Strzok, Page, the cast of players, are they not guilty of a coup d'etat, treason?
Yeah. Listen, even our ex-Secretary of State who was over there doing stuff he shouldn't have been doing. It's all getting brushed under the table, you know.
Logan Act.
Yeah.
Who are those people? I've already forgotten them.
Yeah, isn't that what he just?
Well, no, that's the American.
Wait a minute. We might be having a good prosecutor here in Barr and Durham. They are investigating now. They're investigating all of that. But they're not tipping their hand. They're not leaking anything. So
they're not going to do
patient.
anything. They're part of D.C.
Be patient. No, I don't.
Well, you see, we have a
on that.
retired prosecuting attorney from Wisconsin. All those people up there are frozen, so we know we can't really depend on what they say.
People
they don't mention treason.
Right.
This
No.
is treason.
Yeah.
Unseating a duly elected president is treason any way you cut it. And the last time I heard, that was a haggable offense.
You know, Alan would sit here and he's agreeing with you. The whole concept is he's hoping and kind of counting on the fact that Bill Barr is a legitimate guy and he's going to run a real operation. But Greg, our station owner's husband over here, he says, hey, he's part of the Washington establishment, so his amount of faith in Washington is almost zip. Is that fair, Greg?
I'm with Greg. Greg.
Yeah.
I like our congressman.
I like our congressman, right? Yeah. Hey, listen, George, thanks for calling in, my man.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
Thanks, George. Okay.
340-1590, 340-1590. Yeah,
Look,
I vote for you, Alan, and I hope you're right.
If we have no faith in our justice system anymore, America is gone. Because if we can do anything we want, if money talks and that's it, this is not America anymore. We're done. So we better have these people investigated and something better come out of this, because the American people should be demanding justice. Whether it's Democrats or Republicans, whoever did wrong should be prosecuted, and we should know about it.
How about letting the prisoners out of the jails, which is part of this $2 trillion deal?
Well, hey.
Look at the prosecutor over there.
Yeah, I know.
He's looking down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like there is so much pork in this bill that is just hard to imagine. It's so ridiculous. You know?
340-1590, 340-1590. It's guys, listen, this too will pass. Again, November is around the corner. We need to get past this crisis now. I mean, yesterday, today. I mean, this thing has to come to a head, because every minute we delay it, you're making the hole deeper. I mean, at some point you can't dig yourself out.
See, Alan is right. I mean, the judicial system has been taking shots for the last 2 years, seriously.
Big time.
Whether it was the Court of Appeals, and then it became the Supreme Court with the new justices. I mean, and you've got that entire cadre of people that was of legislators standing at the Supreme Court, protesting the Supreme Court. I mean, it's like, where is this going?
Yeah. Where
it's
is it
scary.
going is correct. Well, hey, listen, as I said, the only nice thing about our country is we have elections, and they're free elections. And if we don't like something, and in history, we have another election, and we change the system. 340-1590, 340-1590. And we have another caller. Debbie, it's Joe Martek. You're on the radio.
Hi, Joe. You already know my name.
Debbie,
I have some questions.
Go ahead.
I have some questions about some funds that I have, and I'm not sure what they're doing.
Go ahead.
I have some accounts with a company called Jackson.
Yes, you do.
And when I look at the accounts online, it looks like the values are not as I thought that they were.
Well, stop for 1 minute and let's understand the contract, because this is a good subject, and I wanted to bring this up anyway. In your contract, you're invested in, if I remember right, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, who, with what's going on in the last couple weeks, have taken a hit of around 30-35%. However, yesterday they came up 10%. Yesterday. Now, In the meantime, I hate to say this, but if you decided to die today, your husband's going to be happy because your high water mark, I forget what it was, that's what that contract protects your heirs in case you die on the wrong day. And this was a subject I was going to bring up anyway today, and I'm glad you bringing it up because your family would rather have you die when the market's up so they can collect more money. But in the meantime, that contract protects that high water mark, which they adjust once a year in your contract to whatever it was.
You're terrible.
I know.
You are terrible.
I know, but it's, hey, listen, what would you rather have, a used Pinto or a Maserati? Come on, Greg.
Pinto.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's only because you don't think they're worth more money now. But anyway.
No, I got to say Maserati because we got a Maserati dealership.
Yeah, you better. They haven't canceled your ads yet, so that's important.
They're the only ones that have.
So what happened, Debbie, is that number one is there. Number two, your high water mark, which is set once a year on each anniversary. It's what you put in. Then once a year, if it goes up, it locks it in. Also guarantees you income for the rest of your life. That insurance contract.
Okay, and with all due respect, my question is my contract reset every March?
No, it resets once a year on the anniversary.
Correct. That, in my case, would be every March.
Every March, right.
So why is my value, when I go online, why is my value on my account less than it was last March?
Well, okay. If you look, don't look at the account value. Look at the insurance value. It's there, the death benefit and the living benefit. There's three different parts in your contract. One's the market. Market goes up and down. Then the insurance company says, hey, we're going to protect your family in case you die on the wrong day, and then we're going to protect you with income for the rest of your life based on the high water mark that is set every year on the anniversary. If it goes up, it stays up. If it goes down, it cannot go down.
Well, with all due respect, Joe, if I'm dead, I really don't give a shit.
Well, guess what? A lot of people, when you're dead, will care because they'll get money.
I care about my living benefit, and I was always of the opinion that I was guaranteed 4 or 5% each year because of the market equaling out with the insurance portion of the funds that I have.
Literally what happened, let's say, use an example. We put $100,000 into the contract, and you never take a dime out. And once next year goes by, it goes up to 110. That is your high water mark. It can never go down from that. You now are guaranteed income for the rest of your life on that. When you're 65, it's 5%. If you're under 65, it's 4%. When you turn 80, it goes to 6%. Now, little minor thing. If you look at that number on your contract online, that number cannot ever go down. It will go up once a year, and if you don't take any withdrawals, they add 6% per year to that number. So literally, if you look at that number, and you and I can meet and show, we've gone through this before, and I'll go through it with you again. I'll show you in black and white exactly what we've said every time. The key is this. Nobody likes the market to go down, Deb. Nobody. So what happens is this. If you want to be just invested in the market, you ride the roller coaster, that's it. When you put insurance with it, the insurance company is going to have two separate benefits in there that you have. One is your family, and two is you guaranteed income for the rest of your life based on the high water mark.
Okay, and exactly on a statement, what is the high water mark called?
Look, it's called the living benefit. Look at the living benefit on the bottom. Oh, somewhere on the bottom. I don't have one in front of me now, but if I did, it was quote close to the bottom. Living benefit. Your guaranteed withdrawal amount.
Okay.
Got it?
So that would be accurate as of the last set date, which was March of 2019.
Whatever that statement says this day, I can bring it up online right now. That's what that number is.
Okay, and why when I look at their current statement as of today, why am I seeing a different amount?
You're looking at the account value, which is the money in the market. You're not looking at the guaranteed insurance market part. Remember, there's three different parts. The market value, that went up 10% yesterday, by the way. And then the other parts are the insurance values.
Okay, well, maybe I should talk to my advisor, who I was trying I was trying very hard to not throw under a bus here.
You were doing a good
already-
job trying to throw them under the bus, and I don't blame you. But here's the bottom line is you're allowed to forget these rules, but the reason we did this stuff way back was to protect you and your family in case things like happen right now with this coronavirus, which has crushed the market. Let me tell you, I haven't heard one person, except you, by the way, complain about insurance during this crunch, because right now, everybody that has that contract with insurance on it says, hey, wait a minute, now I'm protected. Now, last year when the market was up 30%, they said, what do I need insurance for? Well, when the market took a tank, 35, 40%, all of a sudden they say, hey, wait a minute, I'm protecting my family and I'm protecting me with income for life based on a high water mark. So you're allowed to forget that. You're allowed to throw me under the bus because I don't mind. I've been under that bus put there by so many women. You're just one more, Deb, and I love you.
No, and the point being, Joe, and maybe you should give this clarity to people.
Joe, if I may make a comment, our caller is interested in the income side of the contract,
right?
And looking at the growth side, when the market has taken a big fall, that's what's confusing you. But your income is going to be there. That's what the insurance is for.
Amen.
No, with all due respect, sir, what's confusing me is because I'm referring to my statement of last March, when all of the funds reset as they do annually.
Right.
Okay? Rather than calling my advisor and being a Pollyanna, I went online to try and look at things to answer my own questions and feel some confidence in what I did. Okay? Because I'm looking online at what this fund...
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go online and look it up, and then you can go online and we can both look at the same thing, and then I'll show you what I'm talking to you about. You are protected, period. You have the high water mark is there, and that's what that does. It isn't my deal. This is the insurance company that does it, period.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that it might help to put other people's mind at ease if they don't be so hasty as to look online, because maybe online...
You know what, Debbie, you need to do, because I know you don't work that hard. You need to come and sit with me on this radio show one day. And
I don't work that hard, Joe. This mentioned that I'm a travel agent.
Debbie, let me tell you.
I pick on Deb all the time if I can, right?
Debbie, let me tell you something.
They hit 3 weeks ago before anybody else was.
When Joe started talking to me about these things, I thought, oh, no way are these things any good. But then Joe educated me as to how they really work, and they are really an excellent product for people who are retired, who want income.
Wait a minute, she's not retired, she's working.
Doesn't matter.
She's a travel agent.
Doesn't matter. And she's talking to me on the radio while she's working.
She's a travel agent during the coronavirus.
She's looking
right now.
So she's not working, right? So no, seriously, Hey
Deb, listen, we got 3 people picking on you now. This I know.
No.
You can handle them because I know you.
No, the thing is she is more interested in income, and that's what is being provided to her. Her family, when the day comes when the Lord says, I want you, Deb, her family is going to be interested in where the value of the investment is.
Hey, let me tell you, when you get run over by...
She's going to name me as a beneficiary,
Too late.
right?
Too late. She already named me, though.
Oh, she named you.
Hey, Deb, isn't that right?
Oh.
Yeah, that's right, Joe.
Was there a little bit of sarcasm in there? Just a little bit.
Oh my God.
Anyway, all it amounts to is on your statement, and I'm telling you, on the far right-hand side, one is the death benefit, and if you look down at the bottom, it says guaranteed withdrawal amount, and that's the annual amount. And that number, if the market doesn't go up in a whole year, doesn't go up, it goes up by 6%. So back again. If you put 100,000 in, the market never goes up 1 year later. You don't take any out. It's 106. Next year it's 112, and then you're guaranteed income for the rest of your life on whatever that high water mark is. Now, if the market goes up on your anniversary higher than that, that's what it is. Then it resets once a year up only. You can never go down. Got it?
Okay. The point being, make this point for all the blonde ladies out there. Okay.
Are you really a blonde?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
As of last year's statement, my annual statement, the determined baseline is a fixed amount. So this year, at the same time as last year, that amount at the very least should remain the same.
Now, actually went up.
Okay. All I'm saying is my point. When you go online and look at this stuff on the website, it looks different than it does on the hard copy.
No, it really doesn't. But guess what? What I need to do is sit with you, and I need to show you again. So we'll do that. We'll just make an appointment and do it. Hey, Deb, I miss you.
Joe, I'm not sure at this point if 6 feet is even enough.
Well, thank you.
This is classic.
She is.
I dare you to run this show on the religious station.
Isn't that the truth?
I dare you to run this on
Deb,
the
we can't run this show on.
Apologize.
You don't really apologize, Debbie. I know you. You don't apologize. You have listen.
No, I didn't realize it was a Christian station.
This one is.
This one is not.
This one is
Believe
not.
me.
This is run by a Jesuit retiree, and
Okay, well, my recommendation is that we all put our faith in the Lord.
Amen, girl. Hey, listen, Deb, we will make an appointment to sit down and go through it, and you can throw darts at me, but I'll show you in black and white and green and pink and orange, whatever the colors that are printed out, what you can see online, and once you know it, you'll look at me again. You say, Joe, you're not as bad as I thought you were.
No, and I really do try to have every confidence, but you're the professional in this, okay? And there are a lot of people out there that are just like me, Joe, that don't have the clarity that you have.
Guess what? We're going to clarify you again. You
Okay.
kind of remind me of butter before it's been clarified.
Deb called you a professional?
I know, of course.
That's the first time since 2004.
But she spelled it P-E-R, professional.
I think that your next radio show, maybe I should come sit with you there so we can answer silly.
That's what I was trying to say. Listen, you can't be doing too much in the travel business right now because of this Corona thing. So what you need to do is next Wednesday, just make it a point to come on and sit on the show, and this is a good thing because you're going to look at it through a perspective of the consumer, where I have a hard time doing that exactly. And besides,
Absolutely.
I'm a sweet, lovely, wonderful person, and you're tough.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not.
Are they going to give me a paycheck for this?
No, they're going to charge you, but don't pay attention. I have bad credit here, so they're used to not getting paid.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a blessed day.
Thank you,
You
Beth.
too.
Bye. 340-1590. I love this. I've known her this is 2-3 years now, whatever the time frame is. And Deb is tough. But you know what? She doesn't sugarcoat. You notice that? Just a little bit? She wants to know exactly and show it to me exactly and then remind me exactly, which is what I do.
But do you realize obviously Deb is a intelligent woman.
Yeah.
But yet these statements sometimes
are confusing.
You just don't know what is ice cream and what is water. You know
what gets me is, and Greg, you know this. Whatever can be put in English when it's written by attorneys, nobody can understand it.
Forget about
it. Forget it. And literally, and here's Alan sitting here grinning because he's a retired attorney.
I agree.
But that's
stupid.
It's put into legalese, which is extremely accurate and proper, but very difficult to understand. So what they say on these statements, if they have the word death benefit, well, that's an easy one to read. But then the living benefit definition on the statement should be more definitive where people can understand it. And they don't make it as big as it needs to be. And now why? I mean, maybe the state doesn't like them to do it, or the government doesn't like them to, I don't understand the rules.
And they should separate the market portion of the statement and the income portion
and
of
they
the
do.
station.
However,
and make it clear.
They don't make them equal. Yeah, that's
yeah, they don't make it clear.
340-1590, 340-1590. Thank you, Deb, so much. I mean, honestly, thank you for calling in, because I was going to talk about the magnificence of that contract protecting people's money. And I tell you what, when the market took a 30-40% hit, and people, if they had died that day, their family got all their money like it was based on that high watermark. I mean, that's a big deal, 30-40% more money. And then secondly, if they're taking money every month, taking an income, all of a sudden, if they're in the regular market, that's going down. Some of them have stopped. They've stopped dividends. They've stopped them. Not in the insurance contract. That goes on and on. Now, my compliance people say you have to know the claims paying ability of the insurance company. I got to sneak that in there because compliance people like that in there.
And you've also got to sneak in a goodbye until next week, Joe.
No, I got 15 seconds.
No, you don't.
How much time have I got, Chief? Well, he did the finger thing. Okay,
12
see, 12 seconds. Hey, Alan, say goodbye till next week.
Say goodbye till next week.
Goodbye till next week. Debbie, you're invited. I hope you show. See you then. Bye.
You've been listening to the Team Martek Hour. The Team Martek Hour is a paid program. The content was provided by the advertiser. WPSL, its staff, management, and ownership were not responsible for its content.